I think a lot of times we think about leadership as a position or a place in an org chart, and I think we're just getting that wrong. Leadership is more of a capability anybody can build, and how that manifests and what you do with that could look different in many different ways. But I think we all have an opportunity to lead, and I think the first thing about good leadership is being self-aware. And one of the things we know to be true is that humans have bias. And the reason why we have bias is because we are just survival machines, right? We're kind of living a little selfish just generally because we're trying to survive and free up space in our brains to survive. I mean, we're very primal people, we're very primal beings. So we haven't evolved much, but society has evolved around us. And so that's why we see things like bias come into play. The biggest gap that I see with my work is this complete lack of knowledge on how to shape culture, how to think about people as a group and how we get results through teams, but also thinking about organizations as a system and what are some of the things we need to be thinking about really at the bedrock of some of this culture and leadership work. The biggest gap that I see is just that, matching our words to our actions, or not even understanding what our words mean in the first place. So there's a lot of people talking about inclusion and diversity and equity, and there's some people that I talk to and I'm just like, tell me what inclusion means to you. And they can't give me an answer. So how are you going to operationalize this within your organization? How are you going to get aligned as a culture, as an organization? This is systems level change that we're talking about. Let's just be clear, because we're spending billions and billions of dollars on DE&I and culture work, and it is like spaghetti on the wall. I mean, it is just, it's scary how much money we're spending. So I think being able to be strategic about understanding the reinforcement systems within an organization, things like how we're hiring, how we're rewarding, how we're evaluating, and how we're holding people accountable. We have to remember that our workplace culture mirrors our societal culture. I don't think a lot of people think about it that way. They separate work from life, but we're realizing, the actual development of culture behaves very similarly to culture that happens in society. And I'll just be honest, I think our value system supports that type of leadership. It happens, look at our leadership at a government level, right? Or at a world level even. I think there is this construct of leadership that includes things like power and aggression and force and fear, especially in this country. We were built on it in many different ways. So that is the reason that it mirrors within an organization. I think we have to talk about leadership as a choice. And that goes back to the position thing, right? So I think in workplaces in particular, we've created a system where, you climb the ladder, right? Like that is the attractive option. And I don't think organizations are doing a good job creating multiple paths for people to express their leadership in different ways. So leadership doesn't always include taking on a team. It could be leading a project. It could be leading impact and activism within your organization, but working with communities. It could be so many things. And we're not leveraging all those paths. That's the first thing.
I appreciate that distinction and that, awareness that there is a distinction, let's.
The issue is there's a deficit happening right now where like organizations are sucking things from people. They're sucking self-worth, confidence, livelihood, these are things that just happen. Like it's normal. We've normalized it. Like you go home at the end of the day and you're just like, oh my God, I hate my job. And like, those are normalized and that's not okay. Those are the things we should be fixing. And those are the hardest things. It's very easy to throw spaghetti at the wall and say, let's get a ping pong table. Let's get a food truck. let's give everybody a $50 bonus, like those are just so short-sighted.